Here's a basic summary of today, Tuesday, April 30th, 2024, at the delayed 2020 General Conference of the United Methodist Church. I did not get to watch the midday stuff around finance, but I came in on the tail end of it. The day began with a speaker from the World Council of Churches, and I'm going to invite you to go watch the beginning of today's proceedings that I recorded because there's a lot of history around the World Council of Churches and the undergirding theology that people don't understand, but very much signals the direction that the United Methodist Church is going. There was also a young people's report. There was a lot of drama today around different groups jockeying. So in general, the Africa delegation has been quiet. They've tried to have input on their bishops and been shut down pretty much at every turn. So today there was some developments around American bishops. There was an effort to try and make sure that once upon a time bishops were guaranteed for every, I want to say 300,000 members. They're getting away from that because they're running out of money. So instead, regions had to put in a request to the General Conference, I think, or maybe the Regional Conference. I think it's a General Conference, to justify having bishops in their area. But the Western and Northeastern jurisdictions in America came to understand that they would lose bishops if they did that. So a motion was passed from the floor to guarantee at least 5 bishops in each jurisdiction. And even though last week they decided that jurisdictions need to go away because they're racist, well, a lot of energy was put in today to guaranteeing that jurisdictions would maintain bishops. So color me skeptical that they're actually going to get rid of the institution. The Western jurisdiction in America has very much benefited from being kind of its own island, its own thing. I would just be so surprised if they relinquished the power that they have to take money from the rest of the church to fund their project. So there was a judicial council decision on young people serving on the Commission for General Conference or Committee for General Conference. The nominations were closed yesterday, but the Judicial Council ruled after an inquiry from a Hispanic young man that there has to be a young person on the General Council. And there was some confusion when Bishop Scholl faced off against this young Hispanic. I think he identifies as queer. He had a lot of sass, and he sassed Bishop Scholl. Scholl was patient with the young man and gave in to him, and then delayed things a bit, but things actually had to get moved back like an hour and a half from when they were supposed to get started, cut off for today, because the young people insisted on having the nominations be made. They were finally able to nominate 5 young people that are not delegates to General Conference, as the Book of Discipline stipulates. From what I can tell, it was just because they were willing to get nasty about it. I don't know. It just seemed like there were 2 unworkable things together. Was there anything else that happened today that people need to know about? They did calculate the percentage that churches are going to have to pay for apportionments, acknowledging that a lot of churches are in bad shape. So it came down to like what's more important, the general church and the local church, and there was a lot of give and take around that. But in the end, the decision made seemed to favor more the general church than local churches, even though local churches can just not give. But yeah, a lot of, if I had to sum up today, it'd be a lot of push and pull around young people trying to take over, queer people trying to take over. That was seen in nominations for the Judicial Council. There was a measure put forward to try and hold new elections for the Judicial Council with new language that shows preference for people based on sexual orientation. And so that seemed to be kind of a naked attempt to stack these new very powerful general agencies or commissions or bodies with young sexually nonconforming persons, just to mark this huge sea change in the denomination. And they gained a lot of ground on that today, by the way. So it looks like tomorrow elections are going to be held. Nominations have already taken place, but not for the Judicial Council, I don't think. So maybe that'll be tomorrow. Forgive me, my brain is kind of fuzzy. I was along for the whole ride today, managing comments and kids, and so forgive me if I've said anything inaccurate. Things to look for. People have been signing on throughout the live stream saying, did they vote on the gay stuff yet? Did they vote on the LGBTQ stuff yet? When will they vote on it? The answer is no. They have adopted some tertiary things, but they haven't changed the language yet or brought it back down to zero. And there's no way to know when they're going to bring that to the floor, I don't think. What I suspect is going on now is that the African delegation has decided that when the position of the denomination is changed on homosexuality, that they will all walk out together. And I have no insider knowledge. Nobody has any. I've just been trying to make sense out of why are the Africans being so quiet? Why are they not showing their discontent with the lack of representation, with the way that they've been steamrolled at every turn? This is my theory, okay? I think the plan for them was to walk out en masse if the position on human sexuality changed. And I think that those on the other side know that. And so they're saving that for the very end so that the Africans are a part of everything else leading up to that, lending legitimacy to all of their decisions. And that makes sense of it all for me. I have no way of verifying that without, talking to people on both sides, and neither side is going to talk to me about their game plan. So could be completely different. I could be completely wrong there, but that's the main issue. They've already passed regionalization, and that'll go for ratification next year. But for now, everybody's looking at the change on sexual ethics and the position of human sexuality. It's almost certainly going to change, but anything can happen. People have asked me, several people have asked me online for the last couple of days, Jeffrey, do you really think there's a chance that the United Methodist Church could be saved? And yes, I do take miracles seriously, and I do think God changes people. I don't think that we're all locked into the way things need to be. But I do think that repentance is often a choice, and the people in charge do not seem particularly open to repentance, despite all the signs that they've done something wrong around them. So continue prayers for the United Methodist Church that they do find a spirit of repentance and humility before they alienate the majority world church, which seems almost inevitable at this point. So pray for them.